On Capitol Hill, senators are getting ready for a marathon voting session on President Trump's budget bill. Now, if the Senate approves the legislation, the House could begin voting on it as soon as Wednesday. Lawmakers have been under immense pressure to get it to the president's desk by July 4th. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins me now from Capitol Hill. Nikole, good morning. So walk us through what we can expect today.
Well, basically what we can expect is a process called vote-a-rama, which sounds like it's a big dance party or disco party, but it's not a party for these senators. This is really an opportunity to work through a number of different amendments to the bill. Oftentimes, Democrats will use this as an opportunity to message against the bill since they remain largely in opposition. Obviously, this is something that will pass along party lines. At least that is the expectation. So before they get to that final vote, they will hold this series of amendment votes, which could be unlimited, meaning it will stretch well throughout the day.
Now, Nikole, the Congressional Budget Office released an updated analysis of the Senate budget bill, and the numbers are pretty staggering. What does it say?
Well, the Congressional Budget Office has been scoring various versions of the bill for some time now, but according to these latest estimates, it projects that the Senate version of the bill could add more than $3.3 trillion to the federal deficit, and that close to 12 million people, 11.8 million more specifically, could potentially lose their health insurance coverage. So again, these are key sticking points, certainly, that many Democrats continue to argue about and why they remain in opposition to this bill. Many Republicans, for their part, have at times kind of cast doubt on some of the CBO numbers. The White House disputes them as well, but it is a nonpartisan entity.
And we've got to talk about Senator Thom Tillis. He announced he's leaving Congress just a day after voting against advancing President Trump's budget bill. So what more did he say about his decision not to run again?
Well, you know, I asked him specifically if this bill was the deciding factor in his decision not to seek re-election. He said that it was not. You know, in his statement that he put out yesterday, he said that this wasn't a hard decision for him and that he was kind of having a hard time really kind of gearing up to try to make another run for re-election because, quite frankly, it would be a tough one. But he's also kind of frustrated with the ways of Washington. This is somebody who has largely worked across the aisle with the other side, and he feels that, you know, these bipartisan exercises are largely becoming an extinct experience. He's also very critical of how Republicans are handling this reconciliation bill by trying to move it so quickly through the chamber. Take a listen to what he told me last night.
If you've got to surprise or jam your conference to get something done, you're a pretty legislator, and that's just not my style. Because if we're responsible for moving this bill, I believe that it's going to be a massive mistake.
Now, even though the president has been quite critical of Thom Tillis, even threatening a potential primary challenge against him, Tillis said that he did have an opportunity to give the president a heads up, and says at the end of the day, you know, he is not opposed to the president or his policies, but he believes that he's misinformed on some of the data when it comes to this big, beautiful bill, and doesn't want Republicans to potentially break a promise to people by passing this, especially with respect to Medicaid, and then having people see their coverage taken away potentially.
All right, Nikole Killion, thanks so much for joining us.